Yeah, I started in 1959 on the land. Things are awful lot different. We used to cultivate our country like blazes and work it to talcum powder nilly. Gradually got into our change into direct drilling, and now we're finding this this new product seems to be TM's working well for us at the moment. It's got our soil a lot more pliable. We don't, it seems to hold the moisture. I'm just looking at the structure of the soil, just how pliable the soil is.
Because like there last year when we first put out in January, had a heap of rain, like knocked down all the summer weeds and put it out, and you could just see difference in the soil structures there, just that much different.
Well, like this is what I talked about, the pliable, the soil structure, how pliable it is. See how nice and crumbly and loose it is? You get to the, can you dig a bit of that hard stuff up there? Madness. Look at that, lovely, just breaks off beautiful. Now, here he is digging hard. See how lumpy the soil is on that? It's a big difference there. That's what I call soil structure. It seems to hold the moisture a bit longer.
And you're like digging up, like it's just crumbles in your hands where you dig up, where it's not treated and it's kind of a little bit cloddier. It's just, yeah, it's just like...
You get a shovel and put into the soil where you've put the best, it seems to slide through easy. You go where you haven't put the best, it goes in, and you always run into a bit of a, well, you do in my country, on a bit of a clay pan, and you can notice it's solid there. And I've noticed on Madness's country the same thing. Oh yes, the root structure in where the best has been, you can see it hanging out the bottom of there. And
where's that one we had before?
Oh well, we'll dig all these bloody crop up.
Dig all my profits up.
Here we go. Look at the root structure there. Root structure where the best has been. Virtually no root structure where it hasn't been.
Look how easy that dirt falls off.
That's right, the dirt falls off this easy. Sorry, I dropped one. Even though it's nice soil structure, it sticks like glue to a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Average, if you think so.
Yeah, only just see the difference.
Yeah. And I know it's just how soft it is. The other day I was driving over, I did this particular paddock last year, half it, and I've given it one treatment. So far this year we're driving over in a ute, and this chap said to me, oh, it's a bit wet, this paddock. We're sinking in a bit. As soon as we got to the line where we didn't do it, the ground was a lot solider, and we could tell. I could tell that from the driving in the ute.
Like one paddock, so down here, like the last year I put the best. I did 40, 80 hectares, whatever it was in the paddock, and when I come to sow it, pulling the air seeder through it, pull it easy as. As soon as it got into where it hasn't been, it'd take a heap more horsepower to pull it. Just I don't know, like don't know whether something's different there anyway. We only got to dig out the shovel and just grab a hold of it. And it's just nice and soft.
Crumbly. Yeah, it's not hard, big lumps. It just
it just crumbles through your fingers, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. We're well, a bit like this place here. It's self-mulching, black self-mulching country, and you can dig a shovel in, and you can bring up great big clods, as big as your fist or a head. With that stuff, no, it's always broken down fairly well with best. Yeah.
Oh, we never really I never really went digging for or looking for anything. Just put your crop in and hope for the best.
Well, we did years ago. We tried deep ripping our country, very hard red clay, and we found that there was a better root structure when we deep ripped. Now, that's a pretty expensive job, deep ripping. We're finding we're getting an even better result with the roots system doing this way than what we did with the deep ripper. You always see a coating of sort of a black coating on the roots where it's been used.
It's just
when things are
massive,
growing.
massive little roots all over the...
And probably, yeah, they grow a bit longer, and I'd say to be probably nearly double the amount of roots, I suppose, per plant.
But usually what we try and show people is the rhizosphere starting to grow on them, digging up a copy of them, starting to form on the roots. So that's this crumbling way, which is that coating on the layer. That's the bacteria that's coating the roots. Now that's buffering this plant from whatever toxicities you've got in the paddock, whether it be aluminium or sodium or whatever it is. That acts as a buffer between the plant and the paddock itself. That's the biology coating the roots, being fed by the plant. In return, they're feeding the plant the nutrients it requires.
And you get the other paddock and they've wiped the roots. Yep.
What we're looking at here is thicker stems, better developed root system, basically a healthier crop. If you go on the crop over there that hasn't been treated, it's got a lot more weaker patches in it. I don't know whether it's a disease thing or what it is, but there's a lot more. You can go for a wander over there and have a look for yourselves. You've got one of those low patches. It's very hard for me to grab average plants over there because it varies so much. Here you've got a lot more consistent crop. It's just healthier.
Yeah, like I said, the guy on
thicker leaves, thicker stems.
Yeah, well, the guy was standing that paddock there yesterday, and the day before what it was, and he said, "What's the difference?" Because he kept looking over the fence and back over here and over the fence again. He said, "What's the difference between these two paddocks?" He said, "Same history, planted on the same day, virtually, all the same spray application." I said, "Well, this one's got best on it," and he didn't say anything.
We've cut back about 5, not quite 10%, but just under 10% we cut back on our fertiliser. If you can cut back in your fertiliser rates, it sort of
it'll kind of pay for itself.
It pays for itself. Yeah, cut back one and do the other, and it seems to be doing the job. That's what we've done.
What we're seeing here on the treated side of the paddock with the best product in last year's wheat stubble, the fungal activity breaking down last year's crop residue or trash, refining those nutrients out of the trash, taking them back down into the soil and feeding them to the current crop. On the untreated side of the same paddock, no activity going on, no visual fungal activity whatsoever. You can see here all the root hairs have already been broken down and are gone. Here we've got all last year's root mass still untouched, just sitting there. And that's where we really start to see the benefits of nutrient cycling and increased nutrient availability to the current crop from last year's inputs.